Alright, aka Padders, found in dollar bins across the globe. RIPCLAW Special, October 1995. This is Top Cow Tuesday, and we're going to get into this book that so many of you have in your boxes. But this is a complicated scenario when it comes to RIPCLAW finally going solo. Because RIPCLAW really is the crown jewel in everything Cyberforce and Top Cow. He's going to get a really big push. He gets some amazing artwork and some big ideas. And we're going to connect this to a Wildstorm book real quick. So guys, hang out with me. Let's go. AKA Padders, I thought it would be best before we get into RIPCLAW Special, and we just have to call it RIPCLAW Special. I thought I would clean off a little bit of my drawing table to bring us up to speed to why this is one of the most confusing discoveries I've had regarding Top Cow in recent history. But this is great. I read this for this episode. I think the things that they do in this very issue is very progressive. Top Cow is swinging for the fences, and they have a couple really big ideas in this. But before we get there, guys, another known as Peter Anthony DeLuca here. You guys know how to support this channel. You can support this channel for free by giving me likes, subscriptions, comments, even sharing this video with anyone out there that you know that loves 90s comics. And, you know, I'm also a member of Fight Club. So, guys, we've been on a little bit of a deep dive in Top Cow. I call this like the Great Expansion. This is where they're expanding everything out of the Cyberverse. And what is the Cyberverse? Cyberverse is everything that bleeds out of the now and ongoing series, Cyberforce issue 1. And we see front and center, that's our boy RIPCLAW. Even issue 1 brings in Warblade from Wildcats. And this is the prologue of a double company crossover called Killer Instinct. But RIPCLAW slowly becomes the focus. Now, along the way, they do a great job in building up Velocity. His, you know, like this is Wolverine and this is Jubilee. That's the, these are the archetypes that we're using. The Wolverine-like character always has a young female character to bring onto the team. This is a trope that even goes into X-Men, the animated series. It goes into the live-action X-Men. But at the same time, Top Cow bleeds out. So Misery, who is set up in the Killer Instinct crossover with all of these issues, we highlighted these last week. Misery gets a one-shot. This is one fantastic one-shot. We have Ballistic, also a part of maybe Cyberforce. Ballistic doesn't quite join the team, but she crosses over with Vampires and Wetworks and the great Michael Turner, who is on artwork here. But Ballistic gets like a 3-issue run or a 3-issue experiment. And then to further that, we have Velocity with a 3-issue miniseries here. Now, I had this lined up for next week. I think a little bit what we're going to go over. I may push this back. And previously, we even did Killraiser. And Killraiser is of a team that spins off from Stryker here. So Stryker forms this book. Codename Strike Force. And Codename Strike Force gets their own character push, which is Killraiser. And in a way, Cyberforce spins out into Codename Strike Force to give Stryker a push. So we see, you know, like, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of the push and pull. It's a lot like dough. So when it comes to RIPCLAW, RIPCLAW gets a wonderful background in Stormwatch number 8, which is also the first appearance of Rainmaker, who later joins Gen 13. This is our first glimpse of RIPCLAW's spiritual nature. He is of the kin of Wolverine. But I think they do a fantastic job in adding this mystical element to this guy. For me, it all starts with Stormwatch 8. But if we were to give him a counterpart, also in the Wildstorm universe, we have Warblade. Warblade, Endangered Species. This is a crossover of the two characters. So they wisely went in this direction. They said, let's just get our two Wolverine analogs and give them something to do. We make them fight a little bit, but we gotta put them on an adventure to resolve something, which is all done here. This is also profiled on this channel. But here's the wild thing. Top Cow does a wonderful job with bleeding out the mythology of RIPCLAW. And they ignore everything when it comes to Warblade. Isn't that amazing? And I don't know why that is. Because Warblade has his own background within Wildcats. And then we get into a little bit of a confusing pattern now. I don't have all the issues because I need to load up on my Union here. We just did this on Wildstorm Wednesday a week or two ago. But I want to show you guys the confusing nature of how two publishing powerhouses, Wildstorm and Top Cow, failed into a solo character launch that had a built-in audience. So let me know if I'm just crazy. Tell me if this is normal. So Union has a 0 issue. I know someone left a comment recently on my Union video. They said everything in Union 0 explains my questions for this issue. But there's Union, and then there's a Union miniseries, or at the time it was dropped as a 3-issue mini, but then it's relatively a monthly. But we almost had 1/2 of a year's worth of content for Union. So it's not that much of a big hill to climb to collect and or read. But Union going solo from this 4-issue miniseries, it's a little bit confusing. Previously, I profiled Grifter going solo. So Grifter goes solo. He breaks off from Wildcats. We have Backlash here who breaks off from Stormwatch. Stormwatch are these crazy cats. He's their trainer. And they go on this adventure. Grifter rolls back into Wildcats. Backlash rolls into his premiere series. But Grifter gets a one-shot. And then through this one-shot, he gets a monthly. But the monthly is smack middle of Wildstorm Rising Chapter 5. So you're not very much incentivized to start reading Grifter. And then he actually gets, and this may not be the one, but there's a Grifter Volume 2. So Volume 1 runs about 12 issues, a year, and then Volume 2 runs about a year. So within a short time frame, it's we have Grifter one-shot, and then Grifter 1, Grifter 1. Well, let's talk about RIPCLAW, because here's Bonehead Peter over here. I read this thinking it leads into this. A 3-issue Grifter, a 3-issue RIPCLAW miniseries. It kind of makes sense, right? You test the waters, orders are looking good, you greenlight this, and all systems are go, right? But then we have RIPCLAW, this series, which is 1 through 6 here. So I'm reading this, and I'm digging this, because this has fantastic artwork by Jordan Raskin. Top Cow these are all boys right here. Top Cow makes a conscious decision to separate the look of this special from everything else that they've published until now. And what do I mean by that? Well, it's something very simple. They take away, like, the crosshatching. So Jordan Raskin is not much of a crosshatcher. He is heavy on photo reference. He's using bodybuilding magazines. You can see for some of his like muscles, and you can always tell the guys that do it because they try and do these like crazy striations and proportions within bodybuilders, and it never quite worked in American comics. I think on the comic book level, one of the most successful guys to do it was Stephen Platt, the creator of Crypt here. That's also our table mascot. But it's always like a worthy experiment to watch. But Jordan here, he's heavy on solid blacks. He's drawing photorealistic. And again here, so like look at that leg. You can see the bodybuilding reference. And Top Cow colors this in a painterly way. They are big with the highlights. They're big with the additional like spotted, like almost like lens flare effects. And they're trying, like right here, like they're trying to break form. But they want you to know that this is different. And I love that. But I read this. And at the end here, where is it? At the back here. RIPCLAW in his new regular series #1. Which is this. It's like, what the F? Because I know what RIPCLAW's up to in this series. He's got to hunt down his brother and his tribal leader, which basically they both go disappearing into a spirit realm in here. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. So I go through all the dates, right? So this is 1995, and from here, right, like this is the year of RIPCLAW. So Top Cow releases RIPCLAW miniseries 1, 2, and 3. And then they release RIPCLAW Special, October Special, and then they go RIPCLAW Monthly. So it takes 4 issues for them somehow to be convinced, and then we change the logo. The logo gets changed, and then but then we ghost out the logo for Jordan here, Mr. Raskin, even though the ghosted out logo that you think would be used to showcase more of the artwork it's not really affecting it. Like, this could be solid. This logo could be this. And, you know, even if it was the regular RIPCLAW logo, you think you would see more of the line work. I don't know what they were doing. A lot of this seems to be a rogue book. Or, here's my contention, that this was supposed to come out right here, which I originally thought, because that makes sense. And this took so long that it got here, and then they wedged in essentially the last page, because the final page here, my AKA powders, we don't have the best drawn. I mean, RIPCLAW here has a 17 head, you know, 17 fingers. I mean, look at what is happening in this spot. But we have a quickly drawn page. It doesn't say the end, doesn't say to be continue. But it's basically, even if it means going to hell and back, I swear I will do it. And what will he do? Well, he's got to bring the spiritual bodies of his brother and his tribal leader, Tall Bear, I believe. Let me get the name. Tall Horse, right here, Tall Horse. So they've had this outer body experience, and they're separated from their, like, demon avatars. Like I said, you know, some of the mystical stuff is very cool for RIPCLAW, but they're separated, and he's got to, like, put them back together. And it's a good setup to read this, because it's like, now I know, like, he's on the mission. He's on the mission. The mission is not to stay out of the sewer getting crap sewage water dumped on you. That's not the mission. So, guys, I do apologize because I like to go in chronological order on this channel. So next week, is it going to be RIPCLAW 1, 2, and 3, or is it going to be Velocity 1, 2, and 3 right here? Because I was going to do the special, and then do all the other one-offs, and then talk about this, and then go back into RIPCLAW, because RIPCLAW's the one that gets the monthly. So I don't know. I have to decide that, but that was extremely confusing for your boy. So let me just bring you through the story, and we'll call it a day. Cheers, my AKA powders. All right, so here we go. Created by Marc Silvestri. From Marvel could have had all of this, by the way. They turned down. This is why, as a publisher, you have to take on all of your pitches and put all of your pitches in development and pay out a little bit of money along the way for these pitches. Because if Marvel only had that, it was like, what? They would have had Cyberforce already. Like, they would have taken all of this potential momentum that Image Comics had just by putting things in development and sitting on them. Here, if anyone, even if you're a small-time publisher, if anyone brings you an idea to publish, take it on and put it in development. And take it, you have to take it off the market. That's the only way to compete. Look at, this is the group of people, AKA powders. Look at all the business people. I mean, even look, here we go, Brian Haberlin, right? And he's been around in comics, right? Vice President, Creative Affairs. And you would think that would just be like a good 9-to-5 job. Because Brad Foxhoven, Vice President, Business Affairs, okay? So Brad, who is developing the business, he can wrap up his day. We know he can wrap up his day. Because Brian here, the creative guy, and the creative guys are always the problem in offices, he needs Cynthia Morris here, assistant to the Vice President, Creative Affairs. So Brian Haberlin makes him hire Cynthia to take care of the business he cannot handle on a 9-to-5 business week. What the... Guys, this is how you lose money. It's, you almost want to say, when you look at some of this stuff, you really want to say, you guys were selling books no matter what. You were selling books. Like, you know, RIPCLAW is selling top 10, top 50, whatever, top 100. RIPCLAW's making money. It doesn't matter. You have to look at, I mean, this is nuts. And look, we even have a color enhancements department. Look at the, look, we have 2 colorists, and then we have a coloring department here with Richard Isamov and Stephen Fairchild. John D. Smith. And John D. Smith is credited here. It's nuts. So, we have a forest evening. An evening in the woods with rabbits and some great computer coloring. Look at that night sky. Some nice silhouettes of animals running through the wilderness. And the woman wakes up and she's like, WTF, what is this? Well, it's this giant monster dude flipping out. Now, we're kind of setting up that the monster is looking for something revealed later. But along the way, you know, he's got to create some damage. So he trashes this cabin. And RIPCLAW, he gets like a sense. Like the way how they talk about the mystical element in this, in the spirit world, is a lot like the Force. And again, I'm all in. But he's like, I have to go. And Tall Horse is like, well, I'm not too old yet. I'll come with you. So the two of them like follow the energy source. And they find the wall punched through. I mean, guys, but look at the texture. So a lot of this is, right, artwork by Jordan Raskin. The inks, page cover and page 1, Kevin Nolan. So Kevin Nolan just came in and did this. And Kevin Nolan, even at this point great black and white guy, and we kind of see how he layered the black and white with this panel here. See how it's like silhouette and reverse silhouette and shadow silhouette, like really cool basic stuff. He's the inker here. But then I guess like Jordan takes the helm and he's like, I'll just do my own artwork. Maybe I'll be quicker. I don't think it was. But yeah, they hunt down and they find a girl. And this girl is freaked out. We use our best photo reference here, guys. You remember, up shots are always difficult. And she's like, monster. And then we jump to cyber data. And cyber data is essentially, you know, they're ripping down the forest. And we get a little bit of that. We get some of that here where RIPCLAW and Tall Horse is like, as is all land. As is all land, yes. Are you well, Bear Cub? You seem troubled. And that's when he gets it. But they're talking about, you know, the industrialization of the forest. And that's an evil thing. So Cyber Dad is like, you know, we're crunching the numbers and things are looking good. But then the beast goes from the forest, tracks down Cyber Data, and look, badoosh, right through the window. Look at that coloring. He's attacking this dude that was about to bone this girl right here. They were about to do nasty things on the boardroom table. And, you know, he leaves her. He kills the guy. RIPCLAW tracks him down, goes out. Somehow we go from forest to city in a couple pages. And the dude's toast. The girl is freaking out still. Oh, you know, so far we got two freaked out girls. Like, she's right here. She's like, don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me. So then RIPCLAW follows the energy again, and he ends up in this mansion. So then this is where he encounters the demon, and he calls him brother. And you're like, wait, brother? Is he calling him brother? Like how some girls call each other sister? I don't know yet. But we keep reading. They go back and forth, and we see that the demon, I mean, guys, look, I mean, this is Bram Stoker's Dracula photo reference here. Oh, guys, I hope you like the movie Pumpkinhead, because Pumpkinhead has a photo reference coming up here too. But yeah, they fight. RIPCLAW gets his ass handed to him. He gets it a lot. RIPCLAW's been beat up a lot. So cheers to RIPCLAW taking punishment. But right, we see the Bram Stoker Dracula reference here, guys. Comment down below if you see the Bram Stoker's Dracula reference. And then he just, you know, he just flies away. And RIPCLAW's like, I gotta figure this out. I gotta live to fight another day. And then this is where we learn that Cyber Data is reverse engineering some of these attacks. And they're like, these attacks are similar to the powers. And we've seen Bear Claw Boy over here, Mr. Bear, because, you know, it's Bear Claw. That's his Indian name. They're like, we've done experiments. We've seen these before. So we find out that there are two brothers. There's the older RIPCLAW and the younger brother. And the younger brother has the ability to open up dimensions and bring out, like, demon avatars. But then he tracks down Tall Horse because these guys are, like, you know, like, too dangerous. We tried to shut it down. Now he's enacting revenge because we experimented on him. That's always what happens with Cyber Data. Poor Cyber Data. Well, RIPCLAW's brother, you know, being unhinged, tracks down Tall Horse. And Tall Horse is like, well, you're not the only one that can do that trick. And he's like, boom, Pumpkinhead. So he conjures up Pumpkinhead from B movies. Pumpkinhead 2, really good mythology. Great character design by Stan Winston. But we got Pumpkinhead. The two of them fight. And essentially, RIPCLAW's brother. But guys, look at the paneling here. This is like $250. How's this not worth $250? But he essentially rips the dude in half. And we see the vortex sucks in Bear Claw. Sucks him in. RIPCLAW is freaking out. Nice photo reference there. He's just like, I don't know what to do. Now I'm all alone. And then he's got to go toe-to-toe with his brother. But right before that happens, Cyber Data sends in like black razors or shocks. Sorry, not black razors. In the Wildstorm universe, these would be black razors. In the Top Cow universe, they're shocks. So the shocks come out of nowhere, sent by Cyber Data. Yeah, they weaken our boy a little bit, but RIPCLAW eventually breaks through this force field that's created by the brother. I'm not sure if it's by the brother or not. I think it is. But you know, they go toe to toe. And then what happens? What happens? RIPCLAW decapitates guys, but look at the artwork. We have a RIPCLAW decapitation because he goes. He needed like a catchphrase in this. Like I'm ripping. I'm going to rip one or something. And then, you know, he's mournful of his brother's loss, and he's like, I will hunt you down. I will find you, and then also find Tall Horse. So some of the mystical elements, like I said, like the force field just happens to be there. The force field is so strong it repels the shocks. It bounces them right off, and you can see them trying to blast away at it. So, like, it's kind of cool. Like, you know, like the mystical side's as powerful as the technology side, something that is fun to see. But I really like how Raskin here, like, swings for the fences in panels like this. You know, any shot that's, like, behind the ear and at the jawline that show, like, and we see him opening up the door. Again, like, RIPCLAW's face is consistent. So we want to say he is using a model. He's taking photographs or taking Polaroids. My only real problem is when we get to the demon fight, it is difficult to discern which one is Tall Horse and which one is not. But the back and forth is nice enough. The separation is there. And by separation, I mean opportunities to throw in, again, the background here, a little bit of the you know, the jungle cave that he's in, or the forest cave, like, right? So we use this opportunity to block in what our focal points are. The flash lines are good. The anime flash lines are good, and he does a good job with going in close and pulling the camera away. Like I said, like a nice enough variety where we can see that, you know, like he throws Tall Horse right into the void, and RIPCLAW is connected to him, and he just gets like torn apart by it. So some of this moves quick, some of exactly what Cyber Data is doing, some of the motivation of why we're kind of attacking the cabin and then we're attacking Cyber Data. Some of that doesn't quite carry over. This to me feels like there's missing pages, but I think it's a great setup for the issue 1. Like, this is almost like RIPCLAW issue 0 to the monthly, and I'm very into to see if he tracks that, right? Like, if he tracks down, if he reunites with his brother. So I don't know. I think it's a good setup. It sells everything pretty well. All right, AK Powders, for another Top Cow Tuesday. RIPCLAW special, October 95. Let me know what you think.